Have you ever dreamed of going to outer space? If you answered yes to that question, I would like to know why. Personally, I'm a fan of the ground, okay? Gravity is something I'm a huge fan of. I really appreciate being in context where my respect for gravity can be validated, and I just don't have that curiosity. I mean, it's not like I don't understand why people want to do it, right? Like, it's very exclusive. Very few people have done it. It's like having sex with David Bowie, right? Like, there's a group of people who could say that they've done it, and it's really, really exclusive. And you would be an icon if you did it. I ask you that question because I recently discovered that we have finally reached the point where people are doing space tourism.
Blue Origin's all-female flight proves that women are now free to enjoy capitalism's most extravagant spoils alongside rich men.
Jeff Bezos' very controversial company, Blue Origin, has quite a questionable background, and I thought that we would discuss the very optics of this all-female celebrity-studded flight in a moment like right now, you know, when it seems like our democracy is crumbling. But as per usual, I'm getting ahead of myself yet again. Hi, my name is katblaque, and I like to think that I make content for introspective hot people. And if you're here, I'll assume that's you. And if you're brand new here, you know exactly what to do if this video pleases you. You just click right on my button and join us right here on my channel. So Blue Origin was founded by Jeff Bezos, who we all know owns Amazon, and he founded it 2 years before the founding of SpaceX. I'm sure we're all figuring out right now that these oligarchs have been in a battle for quite some time, and obviously, SpaceX is a very different company from Blue Origin, and they have very, very different missions. Elon Musk has this vision of the future where humanity will leave Earth and live on Mars. Whereas Jeff Bezos has this idea of the future where industries that pollute the Earth will be moved off of Earth and into space. And he envisions a future where millions of people will live and work in space. And you can get the impression from this that Jeff Bezos is kind of doing a little bit of philanthropy or trying to solve the pollution that, of course, his company has a very huge hand in. But in all reality, Blue Origin is a for-profit company, and this space tourism is part of that. SpaceX would do a launch in 2005 that would fail miserably. And the next year, Blue Origin would do a launch of their very first jet-powered ship called the Goddard. Depending on how you measure success, you could say that this launch was not successful. But for Blue Origin, it was a successful test of its takeoff and landing capabilities. Moving forward with the mindset of incremental success, they eventually created the new Shepard. This was a vehicle created to take off and land and was designed to take a small amount of astronauts on a suborbital space journey. Basically, the goal of Blue Origin is to create reusable vehicles for space tourism and travel. Launches in the new Shepard only last 10 to 12 minutes, which I thought was really interesting because I guess it's novel to go up in space for 10 minutes, but I would imagine people would maybe want to be up there a little bit more. I don't know. Personally, I like to stay my ass on the ground, like I said. Fun fact about katblaque, I am very deadly afraid of heights. I have the worst vertigo, and I just know that if I had to go on a space launch, I would have to like dislodge my brain to like comprehend that that was happening, because it's, yeah. The idea of going up in space, I'm like, but what if I fall? I know that at a certain point it doesn't matter, but you know, if fear made sense, it wouldn't be fear, you know? So who exactly was on this launch? So Jeff Bezos's wife, Lauren Sanchez, was on the launch, and she is just...
Be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to find it?
It does.
You know, my mother told me not to say things if I don't have anything nice to say. But, you know, she was apparently the main person who organized this launch, and she wanted to invite women that were storytellers because they would take the experience and turn it into something interesting.
In 2 days, you're going to be going to space. Like that, it just blows my mind.
It blows my mind. And I can't believe that we get this opportunity. It's really not about going to space. I think it's about what all of these women are going to bring back. The stories that they're going to be able to tell, the lives that they're going to be able to touch. And also, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like, we get to do something that's fun. And I'm really excited about that.
Why is now the time to do this, Lauren?
Why not?
Yeah.
Now is the time because Blue Origin is making it possible. And it's going to get more and more accessible with each passing year.
There was Aisha Bowe, who was a former NASA scientist who jumped at the chance to go to space, was really excited to get the opportunity. Amanda Nguyen, who is an advocate for survivors of sexual violence and also a researcher. She wanted to go to space to get a sense of triumphing over something. Gayle King, who is Oprah's bestie, of course, who I remember being terrified about going on this launch. A lot of people were talking about how it seemed like she might have been forced to go on the launch because she was really scared about going on the launch, which, girl, I would be scared too. And she wanted to go on the launch because she wanted to learn more about herself. Katy Perry, who I did not know has like completely fallen into like Facebook mom manifesting kind of territory in the way that she's expressing herself these days.
I feel super connected to love.
Like, she has some really interesting woo-like things to say about this experience that we will go over later on in this video. But Katy Perry was on there and she wanted to go up there because she wanted to be inspired and write a song. She was initially really hesitant about going on this launch, but the universe sent her a sign in the form of a feather, which used to be the nickname that her mother used to use for her. To my point. And Carrie Ann Flynn, who is a documentarian who just wanted to be part of this experience because it would make her a pioneer of an experience like this.
We are Blue Origin. And this
Let's do this, you Glenn.
is just the beginning.
For the benefit of
Hello
Earth.
and welcome to the launch of New Shepard 31, Blue Origin's 11th human flight.
It is really a historic moment for these
It looks like
six
such a penis.
extraordinary. They've been training and preparing all weekend.
So take me through that journey, the
Training.
all-female space crew, sort of, and how we got from the idea to it actually becoming a reality.
Space crew. Can
Yeah,
you believe it? Can you
I
believe
can.
it? I can't believe it. I mean, it's really. I hear that and I have so much gratitude that we're able to do this. And it all started when I came here and watched Jeff go up. He came back more grounded, more like alive.
Which is interesting, right? You go to space to become more grounded when you come back down to Earth.
Girl, it looks like a penis. I can't get over that. It's a penis.
The main engine is turned off. We're now going to separate the capsule from the booster, and at that point, Kristen, that's when all 6 astronauts are going to start to feel the weightlessness, and shortly thereafter, we're going to let them unbuckle.
Oh no, that sound though.
328,000 feet, 100 kilometers. Welcome to space, ladies, or shall I say, astronauts.
You're not an astronaut. Taking up space. I mean, I would love this. I mean, I would be scared, but I would be like, oh my God, I'm floating. How did it land, though? That's what I want to know. Like, did it just... Because it looks so small. It looks so small. You know what's funny? I don't think I've ever seen Lauren and Jeff Bezos, like, animated, like, moving together at the same time. Like, I've just seen pictures of them. When I see them interact with each other, I get it.
Katie!
She kissed the ground. This would be me. So me.
has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you.
Wow.
Like how much
Wow.
love you have to give and how loved you are
Yeah.
until the day you launch.
Oh my God.
You brought a real life Daisy up.
That's
it was
right.
important for you, not only because it's your daughter's name, but why else was that important to bring her?
Daisies are common flowers, but they grow through any condition.
Aw.
They go through cement. They go through cracks. They go through walls. They are resilient.
Are they?
Where flowers are God's smile, but it's also a reminder of our beautiful earth and the flowers here at God's smile and the beautiful magic.
It's so empty.
all around us.
It's like you're saying so many words, but it's so empty.
I'm blown away by the people that are really, we've had some cranky Yankees and haters. I've heard you. I'm not going to let you steal our joy. But most people are really excited and cheering us on and realize what this mission means to young women, young girls, and boys too.
All right. One of the things that I think we are going to need to discuss is the way that people use identity to launder in things that they should not be doing. We have a lot of conversations about identity politics, and this is one of those areas that people get really, really mixed up. Identity politics are really politics around identity. It's not stuff like we need an all-woman space tour, right? But whenever we have conversations about that, like, for example, equity for women within the context of space travel, for example, people like to kind of like grind it all down to like empty representation politics.
Because a lot of men astronauts, they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot first. Then they have to join the Air Force or the Navy. And then they get appointed by NASA.
That's right.
And then they go to space. You know?
And there has been, that's the other thing, there has been female astronauts. Now, so they go up there and they float for like 10 minutes.
At least.
And then they come down.
Let's not minimize this.
No, I know.
Let's,
it's a big deal.
Don't minimize that.
Female astronauts.
And they were...
The natural reaction to stuff like this is stuff like this. Let's celebrate the female astronauts because it's half-hearted. And that's the thing. I think people can tell. That's why some people didn't like a lot of DEI stuff, because the people that were doing it, you know, the mega corporations that are exploiting people, obviously don't care about these things. So what it amounted to were a bunch of people doing things that they didn't really want to do. Right? Like, that's ultimately what it turned out to be. There are some people who are going to see this all-female astronaut trip and allow themselves to completely ignore the very deeply negative environmental impact that Jeff Bezos and his companies have had on this Earth.
That space mission this morning, that's end time shit. Like, this is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet.
Literally.
The state of the world. And
Yeah.
think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? For what was the marketing there?
When I look at something like this, I think that that's kind of what it's designed to do, right? Like, there's a reason why they all have these like designer suits that go up into space. There's a reason why there were all of these photo shoots for it leading up to it. It's all about taking this thing that a lot of people care about, which is representation and women being able to have equity in science and in the astronaut field, and making it into something that ultimately will paint over the sins of someone who is polluting the earth.
I think what was sort of offensive to me was putting it off like it's some big feminist thing.
Yep.
This is an all-female crew. It's
It's not.
Wealthy people going up at the behest of one of the world's richest people.
Exactly.
And they look like they had fun, but given all the problems on this planet, I think probably focusing on that would have been a better thing.
Yeah, a much better use. You know, the thing is, as we speak, there's a woman right now who is brain dead, but her body is being kept alive on life support so that she can have a baby. She's literally being used as a living womb for a child, right? And I personally think that that is going to set a precedent. I think that that is something that we are going to see a lot more of. And it's very interesting to see this happen right now. It's not as if I do not understand the desire to see stuff like this, like the optics of it, I understand. But I think because of the reality of where we are right now, stuff like this that we would probably see years ago, and it would maybe satiate us and say, oh my gosh, things are maybe not that bad for women. It just feels trite right now because Jeff Bezos is in bed with Trump, right? Like Jeff Bezos is not in disagreement at all with the way that this country is going. So he puts together this all-female launch, and we're all supposed to look at this and think, Jeff Bezos cares about women. This company, Amazon, cares about women. When the reality is, women are mistreated within their facilities. Women are not able now to pursue any sort of discrimination claims because of the things that the Trump administration has done within his companies, and people like Jeff Bezos are all too happy for that. Of course, companies like Amazon, companies even like Blue Origin are going to appreciate removing stuff like protections for women under Title IX, right? Like, it's one of those things where this is supposed to satiate us. It's supposed to keep us feeling like maybe the shit that we are seeing and feeling from these companies isn't as real as we know it is. And part of why I wanted to make this video is I think that for a lot of people, this stood out as that, right? It's something that we would have seen maybe during the Obama era and not immediately felt, oh my God, this is just them trying to trick us with empty representation bullshit, right? But now it feels so much more obviously paradoxical because of the reality of where we are and the reality of what Jeff Bezos' company is.
I just was like, what do you guys need to, and if you, by the way, if you want to go to space, why do you need to tell us about it?
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, just go up there, have a good time, come on down. Also,
that's a good point. Like, I guess that for me was the big question of it too. I would feel kind of differently about this if there wasn't such a spectacle around it, right? Like, okay, you went to space, you had your good time or whatever, like, great. I don't know why I need to know about it and why you're trying to get me to like that you're doing this. Obviously, because it's normalizing the idea of space travel, but still, the spectacle, I think, was unnecessary because I don't think I really gained anything from seeing them do that other than seeing that celebrities are living a very different life than a lot of us are right now. And I feel so differently about this than I did in February because I think that things have gotten worse since then in many ways. And so this feels extra trite and out of place.
I always say, you know, it's not about going to space. It's about what we bring back. And I get to go with 5 incredible women, explorers, but storytellers, to inspire a new generation to be interested in space exploration, to inspire a new generation to explore.
I personally have a hard time understanding what positive really comes from space tourism. It's not that I don't understand why people want to do it. I just don't really understand why it is being framed this way. Of course, these companies have to frame it this way. Like I said, some people are part of this launch because they want to be pioneers of something that's new. I understand that. I totally get that. What I don't understand as much is why people are pretending like that is something that is distinct, that will be desired by many. Like, of course, in order to get us to the point where people are regularly and casually traveling to space, we do have to sort of like start this way, I suppose. But I think the thing that annoys me about the way that people use language throughout the conversations relating to the Blue Origin stuff is that it just, to me, like maybe it's just where I'm at, I can just hear the bullshit. I feel like you're not saying this because you actually feel this way. You're not saying this because you're trying to inspire the next generation or something. You're trying to make money. Plainly. And I think that a lot of us, the interesting thing about this is a lot of us, I feel, are becoming less and less enchanted by celebrity. We're becoming less and less enchanted by what are these people doing that is so outside of the realm of something that I could ever afford. To my understanding, these flights are incredibly expensive for the people that want to take them. I don't think that these particular people paid for it, but to my understanding, it's really, really expensive. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? It is not a casual thing that will be accessible to most people anytime soon. So really, it's more of a commercial for the industry, for people who can afford to pay that much, right? And I think the thing that I felt when I was seeing this initially is it just all feels so out of touch. It just all feels so out of touch for where we are right now. We have people who are afraid of losing their lives, their livelihood, being removed from their families, right? We've got people who can't even figure out how they're going to be able to afford groceries this week, or how they're going to be able to afford paying for school because the school that their kids used to go to just got closed down because Republicans decided to defund it, right? People right now are not in a situation where going up to space is like an attractive thing to aspire to. They're in a situation right now where they're very, very scared of their future. And to me, this just all feels so out of touch because they're advertising, I don't think, to any of us. We're all supposed to just admire this from afar while we suffer beneath them. While they get tax cuts, we're supposed to just like applaud them up in the fucking sky.
Was this a win in a sense for Blue Origin in the space tourism arena, or
That's
did
how
it
it
not
landed.
do enough?
That's how it landed.
No, I don't think so. I don't think people are going to be able to afford to do this. It's a ride.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a Disney ride, that seems fine.
Yeah, it's a ride.
But no, this isn't real space exploration. It's just step there, but it's a stunt. It's a publicity stunt. And
Yeah, that's the thing. Apparently, it doesn't even go all the way up into space technically. To my understanding, it gets right at the spot where it's technically considered to be space, but it's not space.
you know, if they enjoyed themselves, I'm glad they got down safely. You know, it's not something most people will do, and I'm not sure it's the kind of imagery we want for the space program, which should be about science. I know there were scientists aboard and everything else, but this wasn't a mission by any
exactly.
Space is not a either or, it's a both and because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner. I mean, Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number one. Number two, there was nothing frivolous about what we did. So, you know, I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not me.
Yeah, I just think that this is all so out of touch. And I think it is interesting that celebrities are not reading the room right now. I mean, there's a lot of people, I'll just say, who are sharpening their knives, okay? And I think some people need to think about how much they want to throw their wealth in other people's faces at this current point in the timeline, right? Jeff Bezos owns a company that is part of the destruction of this earth. He does not care about workers. He is an oligarch who wants to own almost every waking moment of our lives, every aspect of industry that we engage in. To me, this was all supposed to be a feminism whitewashing of the damage that he's done. And I don't think it was successful. Anyway, on that note, I have said all I think I have to say about this. I would really appreciate to hear your guys' perspective in the comment box below. How do you feel about this story now, especially with where we are since it first happened? I, again, am really sorry that I have not been able to get to certain topics on time. I have been just so behind. So many things are happening. I find myself wanting to jump on a new topic every single week. And if you're on my Patreon right now, you now see that I have been posting a little chart updating everyone where I am in terms of all of the various different projects that I'm working on. I will blur that out for this video, but you can see it on my Patreon, where you can also see a lot of other additional content. I upload exclusive content to Patreon and also to my YouTube members on here, where I share comment response videos. Right now, you can find a full video of my full reaction to these montages that I watched in this video on my Patreon and also for my YouTube members. And on YouTube members, you can also gain access to my previous archive of videos that I have privated. I want to give a shout out to the last 3 people who joined my Patreon. Shout out to Valerian Noctiflora, Jay Monty, and Samir. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much for supporting all the work I do over there. Anyway, on that note, I will talk to you guys next time. And I want you to always remember and to never forget that you are beautiful and you are loved. Bye. Bye.